Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Jessica Ward King, the StigmaCrusher here. I have no problem saying that I struggle with my bipolar disorder, because I do. But I think words matter, and so I think it's important to have conversations about how those words affect ourselves and affect other people. So I saw in the news the other day someone that said that some kind of C-list celebrity suffers with bipolar disorder, and it struck me because we don't say that anymore. We used to say that you suffer with mental illness, you suffer with bipolar, you suffer with depression, and we don't say that anymore. And there are reasons for that. Well, for one thing, all of life with living with mental illness is not suffering. And so to say that you just suffer with mental illness, it implies that you're a victim. It implies that your whole life is suffering. It implies that you literally like think of it. If you're suffering with mental illness, you're sitting on the couch all day long, just suffering, right? And that's not how life is with mental illness at all. And so the language has changed to saying living with mental illness, living with bipolar disorder, living with depression. And I think that's a good thing, right? But for me, it doesn't quite capture the full breadth of what it is like to live with my bipolar disorder for me. And so for me, sometimes I'll say that I'm living with my bipolar disorder because that is accurate, because that is what I am doing. I do live with my bipolar disorder. I live with it well sometimes, but sometimes I struggle with my bipolar disorder very mightily. It is a disorder that knocks me down quite frequently. I spend most of my time living with this disorder in a depressive episode, and that is not fun. Sometimes I'm euthymic, so I have normal mood, and I go about my life, and I just go about my life living with bipolar disorder, but a lot of the times I struggle. I go through medication after medication that doesn't work or works partially but has terrible side effects, and I can't go on taking that medication, so I have to go on to something else, and then we try a combination of medications, and you know, that is a struggle. And I go through talk therapy, which is a struggle. And I go through various other therapies like ketogenic diet, which, let me tell you, is a struggle. And so when I come here and I say to you that I am struggling with my bipolar disorder, it's because that is exactly what I am doing. And so words do matter. And I don't mean to say that all people are struggling with bipolar disorder or that bipolar disorder is always a struggle. I mean to say that I am struggling with my bipolar disorder. Right? And so I think that this whole war on words is an important one, because we do need to educate the people that are saying that folks are suffering with their bipolar disorder or their depression or their schizophrenia. Maybe that's what those people are doing, but that's for those people to say, right? If those people are suffering, that's for them to say, hey, I'm suffering with my bipolar. That's fine. That, in my opinion, that's fine. But for a reporter to say it is not appropriate. A reporter should be saying that that person is living with their mental illness. And so we do need to be educating people about mental illness, about the fact that it's not always suffering, it's not always struggling, it's not always any of those negative things that we used to just so glibly associate with mental illness. That's what we're trying to undo, is that stigma that we just automatically associate mental illness with horrible, victimizing suffering. And we want to automatically associate it with able living. And so some people would argue, well, Jessica, therefore you should be automatically always associating your bipolar disorder with able living. Possibly a fair point. But I'm trying to be authentic and real with my experience of my bipolar disorder. And so for me, being able to express my real experience is important. And that's why I say words do matter, and we should use them appropriately. And that's why I have no problem saying that I struggle with my bipolar disorder, that I am struggling right now with my bipolar disorder, and that I also live with it. I live, I work, I have a family, I do the things I need to do, so I live with it too, but I struggle. What do you think of this word debate around bipolar disorder, depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, ADHD, you name it? What do you think about this word debate? How should we be talking about our mental illnesses? I think it's safe to always say lived with, but is it appropriate ever to, like myself, express how we are actually living with our mental illnesses? Leave me a comment down below. All right, that's it, everyone, for this week. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.
StigmaCrusher.